Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Matthew. Welcome to this week's edition of the Blue Mountain Property Podcast.
Yeah, so the last time we were together, we started talking a little bit about real estate and technology, and I think we were going to get into that a bit more, but I believe we have
Exciting news!
Exciting news.
So from January the 1st, I took on the role of President of the Southern Georgian Bay Association of Realtors. So new and exciting times.
Right, so for people who don't know, can you just tell us what is Southern Georgian Bay area?
Well, if you think about Southern Georgian Bay, we go really all the way from Midland across to Meaford, around the skirts of the bay.
Right, okay, so quite a distance then, really.
Big area.
Right.
Big area.
Great. So so the association, they do things, they track real estate stats and gather up the information people need.
Yeah, so it's a method of us delivering information to realtor.ca. So we have all of the property listings and they get posted onto realtor.ca from our own site. And it provides statistics on sales and various other things. So it is our source of knowledge.
Right. So everyone needs to address you as Mr. President now?
No, I think we can carry on with Matt or Matthew, so it's fine.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so technology, what were we discussing last time?
We were talking about millennials.
Millennials.
And the use of technology.
Right.
So, moving forward, we thought we'd talk a bit about the use of technology within real estate and how it has come on leaps and bounds in the last, really year, 2-3 years.
Right, and I think that really nowadays, like you said, the last few years, we're moving away from bricks and mortar in most businesses. So technology is, plays a huge role.
Yeah, I mean, it's predominant in this industry. A lot of the things that we used to do with pen and paper and in print has now gone onto the internet. It's rare that somebody would look for a property through print advertising. They're looking for branding in print advertising, awareness, but the actual product they search on the internet. Well over 90%, and there's arguments whether it's 92, 93, 94, or 97%, but in the 90% of searches for properties start online.
Right. And so then, technology is a huge topic, really. So as a realtor, what type of tools are you using just to, stay connected and make sure that you're up to date?
Yeah, well, there are lots of things that we do. So one of the things that we follow is there's an organisation called Inman. Inman is a technology forum that talks about the latest trends in the industry, the latest technology in the industry. So you have to keep ahead. A lot of the things that we look at come from the States. So we go to the States, we go to the Inman shows, we go to NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, to see where the industry is going and what technology is being delivered to the industry. So we have 3D virtual tours. So 3D virtual tours are created with a 3D camera, and the 3D camera will either have a sonic rangefinder or a laser rangefinder on top of it, so that when it takes the pictures it creates the measurements of the property as well. It allows people to virtually look around the house, so they can go on the internet, click on a room and walk around the room with their mouse.
Right.
And then they can go on and look at the floor plans, and then they can superimpose things onto the floor plans to see whether they'll fit. So that's just one example, and there are two key technologies, or have been two key technologies. One is called Matterport and the other one is called Planetar. So those have historically been the products that we've been using. But there's a brand new product that came out of the States in the summer, which we took on immediately. It was still in beta, but we've taken it on. It's called IMO Viewer, which it takes it to a different level in that we can take our own 3D camera, put it in a room, press the button from our iPhone, it will create the imagery and we can publish it instantly onto the internet. So we don't have a third party involved. So it's just the extension of an existing technology.
Right, and at Blue Mountain Property, we're still doing our traditional photography and videos, but the virtual tours is an add-on.
Absolutely.
But it definitely it
Yeah.
adds to the experience.
Yes, so I mean, we always use digital imagery. We always use professional digital imagery. We always use video. In terms of looking at video, there are levels of video. So on the high-end listings, we're using Steadicams, we're using drones, so that we can get the best video and imagery possible of the property.
Yeah. So also artificial intelligence.
Oh, that's the latest thing. So artificial intelligence. I have an AI assistant called Kate. Now Kate, if you send Kate a text, she will respond to your questions. So if you say, Kate, and I can't remember what her telephone number is, but I ought to do that. If you send Kate a text and say, can you tell me about listings in Thornbury or Blue Mountains or Collingwood or wherever, she'll respond to you instantly and say, here are some listings, or contact Matthew and he will send you some listings. So we've got to the extent that we can interact with you using AI intelligence. If you ask Kate about a specific property, so if I have a listing in Thornbury and you say, send me information on 135 Main Street, Kate will send you back that listing. If you then interact with her and say, can you send me some pictures, she will send the pictures. You're interacting with Kate. You don't have to pick the phone up to me, you don't have to send me an email. If you don't want to interact with me, you don't have to. But you'll get the information, and I think that the technology is now the provision of quality information.
Right, and also with when you start to combine these technologies, if you have a virtual tour and then also artificial intelligence, basically you can show a house at any time of the day to anyone around the world. Someone could look at a property, here in Thornbury, and they could be, in Shanghai.
Well, yes, talking about that, it's quite interesting because I have quite a lot of buyers who are not local. So they could be Toronto, they could be the UK, they could be Germany, China, wherever. And what I've found is using video conferencing with obviously the permission of the sellers, we can actually walk around the property, I can show the property, and they can interact and ask me questions while we're walking around the property. So we actually get not really a virtual tour, this is a tour as though they're physically in the property, because I walk into the rooms at my client's direction.
Right.
And we talk about it as we would if we were in the same place.
Right. Yeah. It's incredible.
What's next in technology? Well, we've talked about 3D tours, we've talked about digital imagery, we've talked a bit about drones. Drones are an interesting subject because a drone operator has to be licensed. That is key. If you're not licensed, then we can't do it.
Get in trouble, Ministry of Transport.
And people get in trouble. So drones, what's the next thing? Well, we're looking at AI intelligence. I think that what we're going to get to look at in the coming, I'm going to say year, is we'll have artificial voice response. So you'll be able to ask a question and you'll get an answer, similar to Google Home or Amazon Alexa. So those two products are coming to the real estate industry. We will see products like that in homes, so that when you walk around the home you can ask Alexa or ask Google Home, tell me more about the property, send me the listing details, and you will be talking to a machine.
Right, and really, these steps are breaking down the need for actual physical real estate offices even more.
Yeah. So moving forward, do we use real estate offices? Well, now that we have electronic signatures, which came in, I'm trying to remember now, was it last year or the year before? So within the last 2 years, we've got electronic signatures, and we can transact everything electronically. So the need for people coming into offices has reduced.
Right.
I operate a virtual office, so I don't come into a real estate office every day. I come into an office if I want to meet somebody, but equally I can meet them in a coffee house, in a restaurant.
Right.
I can meet them at a property. So the need to actually have physical offices and people physically present is really going by the wayside.
Right. And it's become like far more convenient.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, instead of us, printing out offers and going and getting them signed, we're doing this electronically, obviously talking to the clients at the same time. One of the things about electronic documents is that some people have a tendency to just go click, 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 click and sign it. My process is that I will send them the documentation in draft, so they can't sign it. We then go through it on the phone. Once they're happy with it, I then send it out electronically so that they can sign it. So I know that they have read it because I've been through the whole document with them. We may see some interesting legal cases about people who say, well, it's not enforceable because I didn't read it.
Right.
So, it's an interesting time, and I think that technology has its place, but you still have to have that personal interaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, next time, what are we going to talk about next time? Maybe we should look at some of the local market trends and...
Oh, that would be a good idea. We could look at, maybe we'll break it down into, smaller areas and say, well, we'll talk about the Meaford market, we'll talk about the Collingwood market, we'll talk about Town Blue Mountains. And maybe that's one podcast, or maybe it's 2 or 3, depending on how long they last. So, see you next time.
Yeah, take care.